All right, so now we're kind of tracking ourselves in space, but we can't move anywhere other than, within our how far we can walk in our guardian boundary. So what we're going to do is set up a locomotion system. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab this XR rig, and in the last video I had said use device, but now I'm going to change to floor because after some more testing I realized floor is probably better. And so on this XR rig, as the child, see camera offsets the first child, so I'll just right click on this, go to XR, and go to a action-based locomotion system here. And so this is going to give us the ability to use our controllers to walk around. And by default, it's coming with this teleportation provider, snap turn provider. We don't need the teleportation provider, so I'm going to remove that. Snap turn is where you kind of just push left or right on a controller, and it can make you kind of like spin 45 degrees or something. If we look at this, right, it's set by default 45 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one too. We're going to use, instead of snap turn, let's just use continuous turn. So I'm going to remove that component there. And so XR rig, right? So we want to go ahead and make sure, we're connecting it to, even though it's already the thing, it's just good to do that. It probably would find it anyhow. And I'm going to add a component here. And this time what I'm going to look for is continuous move provider here. And we always want to pick the action-based things in the newer versions. No longer should we be using these device-based things. So continuous move provider. And let's take a look at this. So locomotion system, right, we'll just grab from here to there. Move speed, I'm going to up that to 3. I'm going to say gravity application immediately. Forward source, right, we want our main camera to be our forward source. So I'm going to grab that and throw it right there. No, I guess I'm not. Whoops. Ooh, hey, come on, work for me. Right, forward source. There we go, main camera. And which hand do we want to do this with? I think I'm going to say let's do this with the left hand, right? Our left controller will be the one that does this. So I'm going to check the use reference button here. I'm going to click the little target, and I'm going to look for XRI left move, right? And so that'll give us this left hand move thing right here. The next thing we want to do now, if you went and tested this right now, it should mostly work, although we have to add a character controller. You would just move kind of, no matter which direction you would go, you'd always be looking forward, like you wouldn't turn. And I think it's best to use the other controller to kind of handle the turning. I mean, you could play with whatever preferences you like, but we need to add another component, and we need this time to make a continuous turn provider action based. And again, we want to grab our locomotion system and make it the system here. Our turn speed is fine. And this one I'm going to do the right hand, so I'm going to say use the reference here. I'll go to XRI right turn. Here it is. Click on that, and that's what that looks like. And we could test this, and I think this should work in this newer version. It seems like some people had problems with this in slightly older versions of the preview. But what we want to do is one more thing, is go back to our XR rig, right? And we have floor. And we had our XRI default things. We want to add another component, and we're going to add a character controller. And one of the reasons for this is that also, right now we could walk through things, and we don't want to be able to walk through box colliders and stuff. So with this, I am going to leave everything default except for Y, which I'm going to change to 1 meter, just because it'll kind of feel more right for 1 meter. I'm also going to add the character controller driver. And for this, right, locomotion provider, I'm going to grab that over here, drag it over to here. I'm going to take our min height, set it to 1. I'm going to take our max height and set it to 2. And now we should be able to run this in our, right, we build and run, and we'll be able to actually use our controllers to move around, getting our kind of walking with our left controller and our turning with our right controller, right? And you can play with how you think that would be appropriate, but that seems to be pretty close to default.